Happy Monday, everyone. I am very happy to be back also in season 3 with a new Notes to Nono. And this one is one for the future because the world is in good hands if we have people like Gitanjali Rao becoming the leaders of tomorrow. This inventor, aspiring scientist, UNICEF ambassador, and the first ever Time Kid of the Year is genuinely an example to all of us. I had the great pleasure of meeting her in Qatar at the World Innovation Summit for Education, and I really enjoyed talking to her for episode 28 in season 2. I was blown away by her eloquence, her self awareness, and authenticity, let alone her ambition at such a young age. The things she said in this interview really speak for themselves. Most noteworthy is her observation that you cannot change what people think of you, but you can change how you react to them. Gitanjali says there will be people who will shoot you down, but in the end, you have the same amount of power as everyone else, and don't you forget it. I hope you enjoy these notes to Nono of this absolute force of nature, Gitanjali Rao.
It's been a whirlwind, to say the least, right? It's been so incredible. It's been so exciting. It's provided so many opportunities up front as well. But it's really just made every day just a new adventure, a new journey. I'm always traveling. I'm always going somewhere new. I'm always learning about new cultures, meeting new people, doing new interviews, right?
Yeah.
But I think most of all, it's just really exciting to have my voice heard
Yeah.
and put the message out about what I want to say and inspire others to do the same. I've always loved speaking. I just loved putting my message out there, whether it's something that matters or it's something that doesn't. And I think once I get really passionate about something I'm talking about, it kind of just works, right?
Yeah.
And I think I was also put into so many situations where I was just so uncomfortable at a young age, and that I had to learn to basically communicate and learn to put myself out there in the best way possible. And I think just by being myself, like I'm a 16-year-old, I'm South Asian, I'm a female, it's very easy to be undermined for what I do.
Yeah.
And so that's really just another thing I like to throw out there in the middle is communication has just become an important part of my daily life because my voice helps me speak for who I am. One of the biggest questions that I get is, what do you look for in a good mentor, right? And in ways, teachers are mentors. And what I've recognized is that a good mentor is someone that you can learn from, but also someone that can learn from you. You were talking about what the word unmute really means. And what that means, I think, to me is being able to put teachers and students on the same playing field.
Yeah.
And recognizing that teachers can learn from students just as much as they can learn from teachers.
Yeah.
Shout out to my physics teacher. He's my favorite teacher. And what he did in the beginning of the year was he set up a list of expectations that he had for the class, but also a list of expectations that he had for himself.
Yeah.
And he spent the 1.5 hour class just adding things to the list, taking things off the lists. And by the end of that, it was kind of like, you don't want tests? We'll get rid of tests.
Yeah.
You want only 2 quizzes this year? We'll add only 2 quizzes this year.
Wow.
And I think that's what we need to see, right? More flexibility in teachers, more opportunities, because a lot of times students have been stigmatized to be put in the way, right? That they're in the way of what a traditional education system should look like.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, who's the education system for? The students.
Yeah.
They know exactly what they want. We know exactly what we want to learn and how we want to learn, right?
Yeah.
And it's a huge risk for the education system to say, hey, let's put this in the hands of the kids.
Yeah.
But once that happens, once a little bit of trust is put in the kids, the rest kind of just follows itself.
Yeah.
And it makes it much easier for anybody to kind of get involved. Something our school has started to do, and I would love to see in other schools, is that students play a role in hiring teachers.
Yeah.
In our school, students also interview the teachers.
Yeah. Oh,
and
wow.
they're able to pick out, who's the teacher that is most flexible, one that's most creative, one that fits the learning style of the students.
Yeah.
And that's why, I've loved every teacher that I've talked to.
Yeah.
Because all of these teachers are ones that are hand selected from students.
Yeah.
And ones that, again, another huge risk. But I would love to see that in more schools, right? I love to see that type of relationship between students and teachers and even administration is putting the trust in the hands of the students to hire teachers and to see which teachers best fit their needs.
Yeah.
That's what we're missing. And I think being able to do that would close a big part of that gap. I would one day love to interview Malala.
Malala.
Yeah. Her work is, I've connected with her off of social media, but her work is just incredible. And just the drive and power that she does things with is something that just resonated with me. She's probably one of the first people who got me into activism.
Wow.
Not necessarily just doing my research, but also talking to people about it and why it's important. And again, just receiving a Nobel Prize at such a young age is such an incredible accomplishment. And her work stands by me every single day. And I know it stands by a lot of other girls who really needed that, right? That education system as well. And she's a huge role model for everything that I do. So I'd love to interview her one day. You know, it's okay to dream big and it's okay to come up with ideas, even if you think a lot of people are going to hate it, right? For a long time, I hid behind who I really was because I was so scared of what other people would think of me. But what I realized is that you can't change what people think of you, but you can change how you react to them. And that's what I've kind of been learning to do over the past couple of years, is recognizing that, you know, there will be people who shoot you down. There'll be thousands of people who will tell you that you can't do what you're doing just because you're a girl or just because you don't look like everybody else in the field. But at the end of the day, you have the same amount of power as everyone else, right? And I can say that from personal experience.